And we're also in West Virginia.
Right, where the Ponzi scheme murder trial for Natalie Cochran is going on. This is one where it's a wife who has already pleaded guilty to running a Ponzi scheme that defrauded people close to her, her in-laws, her family members and friends out of millions of dollars. But what she's on trial for is the death of her husband, Michael.
Let's go back into the courtroom now. We're listening to testimony from this former fraud investigator, cross-examination of Robert Hinzmen.
I'm not telling the jury that. I've said that he knew about the contracts that he was led to believe were bid on by their business.
Okay.
We spoke with many witnesses who would see both the Cochrans on the internet looking.
Mr. Hinzmen, I'm sorry. I'm not interested in any other witnesses. I'm interested in this particular witness as a son or a daughter of the Cochrans. You don't know anything about what happened in the household of the Cochrans when Mr. Cochran was working on those contracts, do you?
We never interviewed the children. We never were in the house while they were working on contracts to observe what he did. So the answer would be no.
Now, this fraud resulted in what the prosecution described here as a lavish lifestyle for the Cochrans. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, let's start with the property that the Cochrans all of a sudden acquired. They had 3 homes, right?
Yes.
So were those homes acquired simultaneously, or were they purchased during, well, one after another?
Based on my best memory, because I did not bring any asset schedules up with me, they were purchased at different times.
Okay. And they were not the cheapest of properties, were they?
No, they were not.
What did Mr. Cochran do for a living, sir?
Mr. Cochran's profession or occupation was he was an IT or internet technology specialist. He dealt with networking, setting up IT and networking. That's what his training and certification was, and that's what the business technology management solution would have also done: install wiring, phone lines, computer lines, network things.
What was his job? Where did he derive his income from?
Doing that from 2013 to 2017. He also worked for Workforce West Virginia, either as a salaried employee or a subcontractor, doing just that, networking and internet support for them.
Well, how much money was he making a year? Do you know?
Which year?
Well, let's say 2013.
I don't think we pulled his wages back to 2013.
All right, 2017.
That I can give you. His last reported wages, his last reported wages were in 2013, the second quarter of 2013.
So you really don't know how much money this man was making from any source to give us an estimate as to how much money the family made.
We looked at the Cochran's personal bank accounts.
Yeah.
For their business bank accounts.
Well.
And we found sources of income. The focus of our investigation was sources of income from these federal contracts and federal government.
And I'm trying to, Natalie Cochran was a pharmacist, right?
Yes.
Her income was about 120 grand a year, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
All right. But his income, as we sit here today before the jury, we still cannot identify. Can we? His individual income.
To a certain point, we can. Yes, we can. I can't provide you numbers, but we can. We see what was legitimate income. We see what was not legitimate income.
Was his income, even combined with Natalie Cochran, such that allowed the purchase of 3 real estate properties that would go into thousands of dollars.
Can you
And more specifically,
clarify the three properties you're referring to?
property on 219 North Eisenhower Drive, property at 210 Parkwood Drive, property at 433 4H Lake Drive, all subject to subsequent forfeiture.
Yes, the last one, the home on 4H Lake Road, that home was held by them before the Ponzi scheme began. The other two properties were purchased with proceeds from the Ponzi schemes during the period of the Ponzi scheme.
And one day, Ms. Cochran sits at home and her husband walks in and says, honey, we just got the property with thousands of dollars. Or she walks in and says, honey, we just got the property worth thousands of dollars. And he says what to it? Wouldn't it be surprising to you, Mr. Hinzmen, that all that lavish lifestyle was sudden and enormous, and any reasonable person such as Mr. Cochran would ask where the money came from? Wouldn't that be the case?
That's a mischaracterization of our investigation, and,
Okay.
and I don't know what your question.
Then the answer is no.
Would I be surprised?
Yeah.
Was that the question?
Well, no. Well, would you be surprised if your wife walked in with a new real estate that she just purchased for X thousands of dollars? Wouldn't you want to question where she got that property? Unless you knew what the source of that income was. Would that be right?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, all of a sudden, Mr. Cochran can afford a now listen to this, 1965 Shelby Cobra replica, an antique car, thousands of dollars. He drives in front of the house and says, honey, I just got me a nice little car. Wouldn't that be a question mark for anybody in the family where that money came from?
I don't know. I know where it came from.
Well,
I don't know what people in the family believed.
okay. Well, then we have a Yamaha motorcycle, 2017. 2014 B-Tex dump trailer. Another Yamaha motorcycle. Polaris model. I take it as another motorcycle. Another big trailer. A Yamaha Timberwolf. Honda Rubicon. 2 diamond earrings. One of those earrings was like $14,000, wasn't it? His gift to Natalie.
What was the purchase date of it?
Like $14,000.
The purchase date?
The earrings, the jewelry.
Purchase date. What year?
I think it was 2018.
19?
2018.
18. Then yes, that would be derived from proceeds from the Ponzi scheme as well.
That's right. So he has all that money at his disposal, and he doesn't know where that money comes from, having no identifiable job.
He believed it came from a business called TSG that they ran together, getting federal contracts.
Right. And you believe that? That's your opinion?
The evidence points in that direction.
The evidence? All right.
Let's stop at this juncture. I hate to interrupt cross-examination, but we do need a comfort break. We've gone on a little too far. I want to take a brief recess at this time.
A recess there in West Virginia for the first witness for the state. This former fraud investigator. This is who they chose to start their case in chief with.
It's a little dry, but one thing is absolutely clear this defense attorney is, he's very aggressive.
He's funky.
Yeah, he
For
is.
sure.
So if this is the way the trials are going to go, it's going to be a lot of cross-examination.
Oh, yeah.